Hello everyone! We're here in our sniffer sanctuary. This is what we finished off last episode. As you can see, they're all still there hard at work. Let's see how much they've gathered while we've been away. Oh my goodness, that is quite a few. Well, now we'll have plenty of seeds when we want to plant these. But now it's time to get started on today's project. I want to start a sheep farm because I'm so tired of having to go and shear the sheep by hand. So why don't we head up above and I'll show you the space where we're going to be working. So this spot right behind me is where I want to build it today. But as you can see, it's sort of a mess. This is where a sheep farm has been. I've been aging copper here. I've been planting trees. And I've been gathering some of the nether wood. So first, before we get anything done, I need to get this all cleared out. We'll start with the chaos of moving all the sheep from here to there so that they are out of the way and I can start working in this area. I better hurry and get some wheat. Otherwise, it'll be even more difficult to get these guys to follow me. Okay, let's start this chaos. Hey, where are you all going? I need you all in here. Come on. You know what I have to do to all the naughty sheep who won't listen. Remember, I told you to come with me and you chose not to listen. Now I can get all the rest of the stuff here out of the way. It's so satisfying to get the mess all cleaned up. Okay, so I've got this area cleared off, but there is still a lot to do before we can start building. I've got a few of the things that we need to do it, but I am still missing a lot of items. So how about we get started on collecting those? So I'm going to need a bunch of copper for the roof, so I want to get started on smelting that. And this is where our smelter's going to come in handy. Then I need a bunch of jungle wood and acacia wood. I'll need to get quite a few redstone components for this as well. It's a good thing I've got that skelly farm, because that means it'll be easy to get bows for the dispensers. See, I've got a ton here already. Okay, so I've got everything gathered here that I'm going to need for this build. Hopefully there's enough of everything. What I want to do is start out by laying out the footprint of the ground so I know what space I'm working in. With the shape marked out, I can now start digging into it. I need to dig down about 7 or 8 blocks so that I can put in the collection system. Then I'll add in some smooth sandstone walls. While I have it easy to view here, I'll also put in the basement floor. This build is going to use copper and oranges predominantly, so I want to use the same sort of blocks inside. I want to do just a simple pattern down there. And now all the sheep are going to need to stand on a platform of grass so they can regrow their wool. So I'm going to hurry and get in a layer so that I can mark out the level that it needs to be at. And now I'm going to go through and place in the glass. This will mark off each of the pods for the sheep to go into. And then in each section, I'm going to put in an observer so it faces into the grass. That way it can check to see when the sheep has eaten. And I'll put a dispenser right on top of that. And I'll go through and do this for each of the sections here. Now I need to go through and finish each of these glass enclosures. But I like to mark the fronts of each enclosure with the color of glass of what sheep is going in there. Because this is Java, when you shear a sheep, you won't be able to tell what color it is, because it just looks white. So that's why I like to add the glass, so I always know which section goes to what color. So let's go get some of that made up. I've just gone through and in my inventory, I placed one piece of dye of all the colors of glass I still needed. So this way I could just hurry and go through and pop out all the rest of them. You want to use something like glass to finish in these enclosures because you need to be able to have the grass continue to spread around it. If you use just normal blocks, then that prevents the grass from growing and the sheep will never have anything to eat. And then I'm just popping the color in front of each section so it makes it easy to see what sheep is there. And I like to go in rainbow order because it's just more satisfying that way. And I just want to seal off the back here. And I just realized I placed all these colors in the wrong spot. You want to have them in so that there's only a 1 block gap here. Otherwise, the dispensers won't shear the sheep if it's there. So let's go to bed and then I'll fix it. So I just went through and took out that extra layer of glass. And then I'm just going to move the color back 1 block. And I'm going to have to go through and do that on all of these. So let's get going. Okay, so I got that all done. And then I went back here to fix the back and I realized I put this too close to the wall as well. So now I'm going to need to go through, take this back, and I'm going to add some more space rather than rip this all out and move it forward 1. So let me get that done. Okay, now I have a spot for the redstone back here, and I'm going to go in and tuck extra glass, extra grass in between each one of these. The more grass you have here, the faster it'll spread and the faster the farm will work. And the last thing you'll do up here before you put the sheep in is just put a little bit of redstone behind each of these dispensers. But before I put the sheep in, I want to go down and finish the collection area underneath. Now it can be a little tricky to get these in because you have to make sure the collection system is set up right. If you don't have it collecting right underneath the block in front of the observer, you're not going to catch anything because that's where the sheep is. So I like to place a temporary block here and here and here. And that way I can put the chest in first. Then I can remove that block, add in the hopper, put a rail on top of it, and put a hopper minecart there. When that's done, I like to fill in those sides so that way that cart can't go anywhere. And then I can just add as much storage as I need to right here. And there we go. That'll be 3 chests of storage for each color. Now I just need to get that done all the way down. And the last thing I want to do down here for these is to put either a slab or stair here so you could still access the chest. But that way these carts won't move, because if these get shifted off here, it's a big pain in the butt to put them back. So let me just finish up those real quick. Okay, and now it's time to get the floor in for here. I'm going to add some stairs going up just to smooth it out, because the entrance is going to be down on the floor here coming in. And then I'm going to have a half slab across here. And then I just need to create some stairs going down as well. Okay, I've got the floor all completed, and I've even got stairs coming down each side. Now what I want to do down here is mark which color is which. Since I have this package for more mob heads, I've been collecting a color of head for each sheep. And I'm just going to set it on the bottom chest here so that I can tell what color is going to be in what section. Okay, and that is done. Now I can go to the wonderful part of trying to get these sheep in the pen. I want to make sure that I've got a stepping stone up so that I can get them up here and into the little hole. As you could tell by the color of the sheep, you could still see what heads I need. But I'll make sure to dye them all after I put them in their homes before they start getting sheared. So let's grab some and start putting them in their homes. Wow, that was easier than I thought it would go. The last thing I have to do now is to give these sheep each their color. I do think it's a little funny that out of all the sheep I put in here, I managed to get none of them in their same color, so they'll all have to be dyed. Luckily, I have plenty of dye right here for all the sheep. Let's go and give them their colors. I did put trapdoors on top of here so that the sheep wouldn't fall in while I was getting the next one going. And there we go. Now I just have to get all the shears in. Luckily, I've got that iron farm that we made. And I've got plenty of iron to fill that. So we'll make as many shears as we can and fill up each dispenser. Now it's time to get the main part of the building done. I'm going to be using the smooth sandstone for the walls again and the dark oak logs for the beams. These walls are all going to be 4 high. The front here will have a large flower pot with giant flowers growing out of it to match kind of the rest of the garden vibe here. And the roof will be copper on top. I want it to stay that shiny copper, but unfortunately I don't have enough honeycomb right now. So making an apiary will be on our list of farms to do soon. So how about I get going on these walls? And the last thing I want to do to finish the roof is to just add a border of some jungle planks along the copper. Now I want to get started on these sections here. I'm going to add some exposed copper blocks to the bottom and top of each of these pillars, and then some acacia fence in between, just to add some depth and some more color to this build. And then for each of the windows, I'm going to cut out 2 blocks here for the window, add in some dark oak fences, put some jungle planks along the top to outline it. I want to put a spruce slab right there, some spruce trapdoors here to outline the window. That way it looks kind of like shutters, and some azalea bushes right there. And then just to top it off, I'm going to add some acacia stairs here, just to bring a little more color in, and then some oak trapdoors right here. And now I'm just going to go do that across the entire front of this build. And then I don't want to forget lighting. We can't have anything spawning here. So I'm just going to hang some lanterns off of some dark oak fences. And I think that looks awesome. It ties in very well to the whole build we have going on. I've come over here and finished the sides. I used the same sort of palette to keep with the theme by adding in some beams and then some copper at the top and bottom, the jungle stairs around the window, and the bushes and the windowsill there. And then I added in some dark oak fences up here just to try and break up all of the sandstone there, because otherwise that just leaves a lot of open space that feels really empty. And I've come here to the back and finished that off. Or I thought I did. I guess I just have a few more trapdoors to put in. But this is also following the same theme as the front, just with no windows. Because if I put windows in here, then all you would see is the back of the sheep and the redstone. And I don't particularly want to look at that. So I'm just leaving that as it is. Maybe I'll come through and add some different sandstone to texture it in. But let me just throw these last few doors in here, and then the sides and back will be done. And over here, the reason I changed the windows to the oak trapdoors is so I can come in and fill the shears, because I didn't leave any room for me to walk through without letting the sheep out. But I think that looks really nice how it is. So I'm happy with that. Oh wow, that looks amazing. But now it's time for the fun part, and that's to get all of the flowers in here. I want to carry over kind of what we've got going on here with different types of flowers. So some coming out of the flower pot and some coming off the side. And that's part of why I got the wool farm done, is because I'm going to need that for some of the flowers. So why don't we go and start gathering the blocks that I'll need to make those flowers? Okay, let's come in here. Now we can come down here and see how much wool we've got. Oh, that's a good chunk of white. I think that'll be enough for what we've got planned. And I'm going to need some yellow, and that definitely is more than enough. And some lime green, and some regular green. And then I'll also need some terracotta. I'll need some red, which I think I'm going to have to make more of. Oh, not cyan. And some orange, which I'm also going to need to make some more of. So why don't I get that going right now? Well, I've got plenty of red dye from our poppies. It looks like I've even got a good chunk of yellow. So let's make some orange up. Oh, good, and I do have plenty of terracotta. So I've got that much orange, and oh, it's not yellow I needed, it's red. And I think a stack of red ought to do it. But I'll hold on to the dyes in case I need more. And I made it all the way outside before I realized I also need some lime terracotta. So I'm hoping that should be enough there. Okay, and I'm going to start in the flower pot here. I think the flower itself will come out about here. And then I also want to put in some leaves sticking out of the pot too. I think we'll have those about there. And then when you're making leaves and stems, you really want to take out that block there so it doesn't feel quite so chunky. And now I'm going to bring the tulip up through here, make the stem going all the way up. And this one is going to be a red tulip. So this will be kind of the curved base. And then I'm going to come up and put some blocks around here. And then I'm going to come out one more and bring these up as the main petals. And then I'll bring the rest of the flower up at a slightly lower level so that it gives it a nice balance. And then I'll just add some light in here so it glows a little at night. And then create the stamen out of some birch fence posts. So why don't we hop down and go take a look at this from far away? And my goodness, is it gorgeous. And I think it's just the right size. I didn't want to make things too tall so they'd block the mushrooms. So how about we go and get the other flowers done that are going to go on the sides? Okay, and over to the side here, I had to add a path to connect it up to our iron farm. I added in some of the light poles in order to light up this area. I've lined the area with bushes and added a little poppy field over here for some color. And so now we've got a beautiful path that connects our iron farm to the rest of the area. And as you come around to the front, I finished off the landscaping here by adding in a beautiful field of sunflowers and just filling some bushes there. I think this has turned into such an amazing build. It just looks awesome. And I've got the interior done as well with some lighting. I want to go through and add some candles up here, but I'm going to need to wait until I have some honeycomb, because I am all out. But I am super pleased with how this turned out. I think it's an amazing wool farm, and the build fits in just so well to our area. If you did enjoy this, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you guys all next time. Don't forget to keep on sparkling. Bye!